Win for over 4 months now.
Part of the Formal Win community for a couple months now.
I just got my first internship.
Just landed my first internship.
Biggest thing I want you guys to do is take one thing away from today and make sure you implement it, change your life.
100% directly resulted in me getting an internship offer.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome in. I know we only have a little bit of people here. Everybody's gonna start rolling in soon. Hope everybody's having a great week so far. You guys are finishing the week strong. I just want to emphasize, guys, when you guys come to these things, and I'm gonna say this every time, sometimes there's gonna be a little bit of a delay. Sometimes there's gonna be a little bit of information you need to process. You guys need to hear a lot of stuff to be able to get to where you want to get to. You need to hear a lot of information to get to where you want to get to. And, it's never a waste of time to change your life in one instance. I know I do a lot of trainings. Training is something you should do today, tomorrow, and every single day for the rest of your life. And what that means, guys, is, you come to this, you take notes, you come prepared, you take one thing to implement from today's session and implement it into whatever your struggle is right now, whether you have an internship, whether you're looking for an internship, or whether you're an engineer. It doesn't just stop once you get into your career field, right? Actually, that's when it begins. That's not the end by any means. Oftentimes I see this too often where we look at this as, okay, I'm a student. I'm going to get to an internship. I'm going to get to a full-time role, and then I'm going to chill. Then I can relax and live the rest of my life, which you can, but you're not here. You're not listening to a Formal Win video because you want to do that. You're listening to a Formal Win video because you want to excel or compress timeframes, or at least get to that point a lot quicker than everybody else. And in order to do that, you need to excel. You need to be better. You need to compete, because we are in a competition at the end of the day. We are all on the same team as far as, being in this industry together, being peers, being friends, being in projects groups. And we're looking to do that all the time as far as make sure that we collaborate together and build each other up. We want to celebrate each other's wins, but we are still in a competition. So I want everybody to process that, think about that as we move through today's session. It's not going to be too long. It's going to be compact. It's going to be powerful. And I have something super special for you guys at the end. So make sure you stay there. Got an awesome surprise. We're going to be doing some really cool stuff. And let's go on ahead and get started. But I do want to hear, we got a few people in here. I would love to hear what school you're at, what goal you have, what you're struggling with, anything you'd love to share. Drop it in the comments. I'm going to make sure I address it at the end of this presentation we have. It's going to be really cool, guys. So make sure you pay attention. Again, take some notes and do me a favor and take one thing out of today. Don't just watch to watch. Don't just be here to be here. Take something from today and, again, implement it. That's the biggest thing I want for you guys. So make sure you do that. Let's get into this. I want to make sure that I got visual on my screen that you guys can see it, and then we will go on ahead and get started. So give me 2 seconds in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so you guys should see everything. Perfect. Okay, so let's go on ahead and get started, guys. Make sure you drop that in the comments, but let's go on ahead and look. Welcome. We already went through this. This is break into the top 1% of engineers before you graduate. I cannot emphasize this enough. This goes far past just being your average engineer. This goes far past from just being your average student. And I can't emphasize this enough, guys. If we're not trying to be the best, if we're not trying to grow, if we're not trying to beat our previous self, what are we doing, right? That's what we mean by 1%. That's what we mean by 1% in Formal Win. That's one of our core values. That's the way that we roll. That's how we do everything. We strive to get better every day. And in order to do that and do that consistently, that makes us, kind of better than a lot of people. Right? Because we're automatically just trying to get better, trying to grow, and not just trying to stay average, not just trying to stay the same. Again, in your career, that doesn't just mean refining your technical skills. That means developing as a person. That means growing, doing bigger and better things, not just limiting yourself to your internship or full-time position. So I just wanted to process that with you guys. So let's go on ahead and unpack this. I got a little bit of an intro here, so I want to make sure that we frame this properly. I want to make sure you're with me, we're on the same page, and then we're going to get to where we want to get to, okay? So most students are doing everything right. Maybe you are applying the jobs, checking your resume, waiting, hoping, guessing, but you're still not getting offers. You don't have a direction. You don't have any leverage to say, hey, company X, Y, and Z, I want to actually, get to where I want to get to, right? You know what I'm saying? But meanwhile, a small group is winning early. I want to emphasize this, okay? This is the 1%. This is where you want to be. This is what you want to have in your career, where you start winning early, because then you define where you can go. Then you define what company you can get into. Then you cannot just let just be a victim of the times, or be a victim of what's happening, or be a victim of AI, right? I want to control what we can control, and your career is something you can control. Trust me when I say that, okay? Top 1% engineers, all right, you land internships early, you get return offers, you build leverage before graduating, you have options. The difference is, it's not GPA, it's not technical ability, it's about installing systems in your life, but also just trying to get better every day. Which is, again, taking one thing from today, implementing it and applying it. We have lots of videos. We do lots of events. We have in-person meetups. as part of Form One. There's lots of things, lots of opportunities to grow and develop, get closer to us and our team. But guys, if you're not taking something and implementing it, you're just wasting your time, and like you can leave. We don't need you here. We want to be around people that are looking to grow. So make sure you do that. Today, you're going to learn the exact system top students use, an example of some of our students, as well as why most engineers fail and how to build leverage early, how to be a top 1% candidate. Okay, this is what we're running through. That's the agenda today. Again, not too crazy. And for those that don't know us, me, and the journey here, I'm going to give you a little bit of an intro. There's plenty of videos that we've made where I've spoken at a few schools and gone over my entire story. So feel free to go check that out so you can get a full depth and scope of what we're looking at. But as far as why we started this, I started this Form One because I always wanted a service like this when I was a student. I had 50 coffee chats with mentors. I was vice president of AIAA. I did my internships. I went around. I did projects. I did extra. I did research. I did everything. I did everything. I did competitions. I did everything. But what I was looking to do with that is get an edge in my career to make sure I'm on top, right? But what no one told me is that all the stuff I did is not going to result in a higher paycheck. It's not going to get me closer to directly what my goals are. Sure, it's helped and it shaped me. It's better that I did that than nothing. Sure. But I always wanted someone to kind of get with me and just say, this is what you need to do to compress your time frame and get to where you want to get to a lot quicker. That's what you're here for. That's what I want to do with you. That's why I built this company. That's why Form One exists. And the vision is to make a like-minded peer group to travel the world together, grow together, and do this whole life career engineering together. And again, it doesn't just stop once you get your internship or your job. That's the beginning. Okay. These are some companies some of our students have gotten hired at. Super cool, super awesome. And I mean, honestly, it's a privilege to be able to help people accomplish their dreams. I remember talking with someone who just got their first position at NASA. And, they called me up and they were like, Michael, like, thank you so much. This is a dream come true. Just looking at this whole big launch site and everything that I'm working on. I mean, it's just incredible. And that fills my heart because I know that maybe you'll get there at some point on your own. But if we can take that 5-10 year, whatever it is, and just make it happen instantly, it's priceless. So the big picture is treat your career like a business. Most of you have heard me say this multiple times. I'm going to reemphasize it, give you a little bit more of a tactical strategy going in today's lesson, but treat your career like a business, okay? It's not a checklist, not guessing. It's not just saying, okay, I'm going to get a job. I'm going to apply. I'm going to go to school, la, 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 la. Okay, I'm good. That's not what we're doing, right? You know what I'm saying? That's guessing. That's just being a victim of what's happening and just seeing what's going to happen, right? I like to, again, control what we can control, and we do that through systems, okay? Super easy. The problem is that most students apply, wait, hope, repeat, right? Top students get strategy, positioning, leverage, and results. The biggest thing that you guys need to, make sure you focus on is results when you're looking at getting inside of a company in an internship, producing, or if you're just looking to get an internship. Only thing that matters is results, right? If you're doing applications and you're doing networking, career fairs, and you're going around doing all this stuff and you're like, hey, well, like I'm doing the work, but then you don't have results. It's like, okay, that's cool. But like results speak. Results are more important than just going through this, right? Apply, waiting, hoping, just keep repeating that cycle because summer internships are over or fall internships are over. I actually just spoke to about 1,000 engineering students at UCF as part of their introduction to engineering course. I was one of the panelist speakers. So I was talking with them, taking some questions. It was really cool. But a lot of them just don't know what they're in for, honestly. And it just reinforced everything that we're doing here because, again, our goal with going to engineering school is to learn, have a little bit of fun, but it's also to get an internship and a job. Right? It's also to get an internship in a high-paying job, right? It's also to make sure that we can take care of our family or support someone, or like whatever your why is, you need to be rooted in that. And our why is not strong enough if all we're doing is applying, waiting, and hoping, right? If our why is like, hey, like my family is not going to be able to eat unless I get through this, then you're going to, like your back is going to be against the wall. You're going to sit there strategy positioning, like then you start treating your career like a business, right? Like we don't need to get it like that because as an engineer, you'll definitely be able to eat. Right. But that's operating in the comfort zone. I want you to operate in the, well, what else can I accomplish in this world? What else can I accomplish as an engineer? Start thinking, right? Maybe think a little bit bigger. So that way getting this internship or job becomes step 1 out of 10,000 instead of just being that big milestone somewhere far out there. You're like, oh, I have time. I can take my time getting into it. No, you don't have time. You have time to just make the most of each day and get to where you want to get to. You need to be around other people that have bigger goals and bigger visions instead of just being around people that, maybe scroll or think a little bit smaller. So I want to make sure that you guys are processing that with me, right? The system overview now to get a little bit more tactical. We're going to transition into direct things you can apply. So I'm going to pause here just briefly. I want you guys to process this. Okay. So where are you at? What are you struggling with? What area are you in? And then take something from this system that we're about to go over and implement it. Okay. So the 4-1 system is positioning, leverage, execution, and optimization. This is how we treat our career like a business. Super easy, okay? Give me 1 second. So you are not just a student. That's, the biggest thing I hear when we go to career fairs or you just talk to people is like, hey, I'm an engineering student. Hey, I'm a mechanical engineering student. Hey, I'm an engineering, right? Like again, like we're not like just like we need to remove that vocabulary from our like playbook here. We're a problem solver. And then when we go into these interviews, right, we're a future asset. We're an investment. We're like, again, like this is not class, guys. Like this is not a high school project. This is not a club. This is like, hey, like we're an investment. Right. And we need to figure out like, for us, where we're making our investments all the time, right? And investments can be where we spend our time, who we surround ourselves with, all of these things. But as far as like us to the company, we're an investment, right? Every second that they spend with us is an investment. Maybe some people don't view it that tactically or analytically, but I recommend that they should, and you should as well, because that's going to help you again get closer to your goals. And the biggest thing here is how to position yourselves to be treated as a top tier investment, right? Like that stock that we just know is going to go skyrocket. Like you need to be that stock. And how do we market that? How do we sell that? Okay. Important things to think about, right? So positioning, is your positioning weak? Is it strong? Well, we need to make it stronger, right? So this is weak positioning. I'm looking for an internship. You go to a career fair, hi recruiter, hi manager, hi, I'm looking for an internship. My name is Michael. That is pretty weak. That is weak positioning, okay? Or a strong one is going up to a recruiter with the proper body language, the proper tonality, the proper hygiene, and we've done training on that. So go watch those videos. I'm not going to get into that today. But the point here is getting a strong positioning leverage when you go to these career fairs, that you are looked at in a little bit of a different light than your typical student. Because typically students can become a risk because then you bring them on, maybe they stay, maybe they don't. So how can you really convey that you're going to stay inside the company? You're going to be an asset to the company over time. Because again, you're not going to just become an asset week one doing amazing, great things. You need to get trained up. You need to learn their systems. You need to learn their processes. You need to learn their rule books. You need to learn what they're doing, right? So that's just an intro in getting inside of your internship, okay? But how to position yourself a little bit stronger, right? And that's what we need to do, especially when we're talking to people, when we're selling ourselves, marketing ourselves. So I've been working on X and want to contribute to Y problems, right? Just like, that's just an example you can go and apply, because that's better than saying I'm looking for an internship. But what value do you have that you can portray and paint a picture and tell a story that makes them think, wow, I like spending more time with this engineer, not just student, as opposed to not spending more time with this person, right? If they're looking to run away from the conversation, you're going to pick that up. Oh, we're not hiring this season. Oh, yep, thank you so much. Okay, yep, just drop your resume, right? So like you can kind of pick up if they're running away from the conversation. And if you've had that before, I've had that plenty of times, which is why I'm speaking on it now, because I've learned to overcome it, and I've learned how to sell myself appropriately, and I've learned how to get people to like me, because that is a very, 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 very strong thing you need to do. And it often goes with maybe just complimenting them initially and just being a person you want to be around. Right. I mean, have you guys known that one person in your life that's just like magnetic? That's like everybody likes them. You want to spend time with them when they're in the room, when they're in the high school cafeteria, locker room, or just like just wherever you spend time with friends. It's like, wow, yeah, okay, this guy's here. Now it's going to be a good time. Right. You need to be that person in every conversation, not just once in a while, every conversation. Sometimes as engineers, we're introverts, but we need to learn how to be extroverted when we need to be extroverted. Okay. So just a little food for thought for you guys. Leverage is now the biggest thing here, guys. Okay. So leverage is not just being victim to one opportunity or one interview or one thing and then just taking that and running with it and that's it, okay? Leverage is options, just like I kind of described, built through networking, relationships, visibility. All of these things are critical. Building your brand, that's going to help you contain these relationships. That's going to help you document these relationships. That's going to help you paint the picture that you're just a badass engineer and not just a student. If you have a brand, you're posting, you're doing pictures, you're going to events, you're going here, you're going Y, you're helping this person, you're leaving this person a recommendation, you're hopping on a call here, you're documenting it, you're pushing it, you're networking, you're talking about this, you're building momentum, boom, 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 boom. That's how things happen. That's how that's kind of the formal win way, but that's also just the life way. Any winner that you know has built momentum, and they know losing momentum is a lot harder than keeping it. And that's why they get scared when, it's kind of like, you don't want to lose momentum. And if you're around somebody that doesn't have momentum and is not on that track, it's like, okay, like I need to go the other way. Like I need to leave this because I can't be around this energy. You need to be around this energy that's just radioactive, okay? But as far as tactically speaking, how many offers do you have in hand? How many interviews do you have? Do you treat your career like a business? Do you track this analytically? How many applications do you put out? What is the result of that? Can you measure this? Can you start treating it like a math equation so you know what you need to do each week to get to your goal? maybe, and I've spoken on this a lot, maybe you know that it takes 10 interviews to get one offer. Okay, how many applications or how many networking conversations does it take to get those 10 interviews? Right. So now we got a formula. So just plug and play with that, but also with leverage, you need to figure out like, hey, what value do you convey? Like, do you know your worth? Are you confident in what you do? Are you right? So like all that goes into when you're talking to people, when you're in interviews, when you're at career fairs, all of these things are critical. Okay. So the networking framework, I've also talked on this a little bit. Some of our clients in the chat here are going to definitely know what this is, but the relationship bank account, I've done extensive training. We got lots of resources in our community as well, as far as worksheets and different things you can work off of and print and go to these events prepared and armed and ready, like having an arsenal. But deposits into a relationship bank account are value, engagement, consistency, compliment, boom, $1, $2, $3, right? And withdrawals are, hey, can you refer me to this position? Hey, are you hiring for interns or whatever the case is, right? You always need to make sure you have a positive bank account when going into these networking situations to model this framework, okay? The next thing is execution over motivation, right? I hear this a lot. Sometimes it's more so just the strategy and systems you have as a student, but I also hear that, like maybe you know what you need to do, but honestly, you probably just need to do more volume. You probably just need to figure out how to manage your time a little bit better, right? And that's kind of how I help some students prioritize and figure out like what's going to work for them. Because your personality might be unique and you might want to go down one path. For example, I had someone build a brand off of FEA analysis online, and then we were able to get some outsourced leads, as leads being engineers looking for people that are skilled in FEA, right? To like reach out to them. And that's just one tactic, right? But like that has to be specific for you, right? So that's just one thing. Someone else might be stronger at networking. Someone else might be stronger at X, Y, A, B, C, D, whatever, right? But as far as execution goes, you guys need to make sure that you measure what you're doing, what you can consistently do, and apply that on a day-to-day basis. So make sure you're doing that, right? Outreach, conversations, follow-ups, whatever the case is. Optimization is next, right? Track. And I've talked about this. Track these results. What did you do this week? What results did it produce? And you need to track this over time too, because if you apply to something, it might give you an interview 3 weeks later, but we need to know that. Then you can start doing quarterly reviews or monthly reviews, right? I recommend compacting a year of, okay, 1 quarter, 2 quarter, 3 quarter, 4 quarter into maybe 4 to 6 months. Because as a student, if you're really taking this seriously, treating your career like a business, you can get an internship in 3 to 6 months. Or maybe even 2 months, really. That's what we really aim for in Form Win. But that's what I recommend you do. You need to iterate, don't just guess, okay? Why most fail? Follow generic advice. We're going to talk about this a little bit later, so I'm digging into it a little bit later. But why most fail is just because you follow this, the same typical advice. Maybe you listen to one professor, maybe you listen to one engineer that you've talked to, and you just base everything off of that. And little did we know that this engineer has been an engineer for 40 years. They're comfortable. They've moved up a little bit, right? And they've gotten by. I mean, that's not what I want to do, right? I don't know about everybody watching, or if you're here, I don't want to just get by, be an engineer for a little bit and kind of just play casual, right? So that's where generic advice can come in. And that's where I think the industry needs to be raising the standard as far as what it means to be an engineer. Again, it's not just getting a job, it's excelling at the job, building a brand and building a life that you truly want to live, right? So whatever that means for you, you need to be around people that give advice tailored to what that outcome is that you're looking at. Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to do like a different type of engineering. Maybe you want to work at SpaceX, or like whatever the top, of the list is for you. You need to be around people that are in that echelon. Okay. So avoiding discomfort, right? Like maybe a lot of people are like, okay, don't burn yourself out. Sure, everybody has heard that before, or everybody is okay. Prioritize work-life balance. Don't work too much. I hate that. I can't stand for that. And that's how I know that we're not really progressing to where we need to progress to. No accountability, no system. Okay, give me a call in a few months, maybe from a mentor. Maybe you have a mentor. Maybe they've said that, right? So just let me know how it goes. Maybe at the end of the semester. I don't want to wait until the end of the semester. I want to wait until like tomorrow because I'm going to do everything you just told me today. That's the mentality you guys need to have, okay? That's why most fail, but this is what top students do. They execute daily. Just going back to what I just said, they get feedback daily. They go through this. Stay consistent. You think long-term, right? That's how we start compressing these timeframes, okay? So I just want you guys to kind of process that, think about that. We're going to talk about a few of our top clients. We have a awesome interview coming out with Trey. This is a little bit outdated, but we have an interview coming out with him because he's going to be working at SpaceX now. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be really cool. It's definitely going to be out by the time you guys are probably watching this. We'll see. But the biggest thing that Trey does is he goes out and network and does everything that I just said down to a T and reports back to me. That's critical because if he's reporting back, we're able to kind of analyze and say, well, what worked, what didn't go well? How do we follow up with this person? What's the relationship bank looking like? And we're just analytical about these things, right? It's super, super important. I'll let you guys read that for a minute. But Trey is one of our top clients. I can't emphasize that enough. He's done some incredible work as far as going out, making these things happen. And he's a true testament to what I want everybody to be able to do in Formula One, which is come in and call any company you want to go to and get inside of any company that you want to go to. You can do that. You could do whatever you want in this world. And I mean, he did it. He said, okay, I want to go work in Killinghorn. We made that happen. SpaceX this semester, we made that happen. And that's just the way that it rolls. And we'll go over one other kind of testimonial here, or just what a top student looks like. This is Dave. And, he came to me at the beginning of this semester and he had no interviews. He's been applying for months. He was looking to do all these things. And we just switched up a few things. And now I honestly, I can't even keep track of how many interviews he's gotten. He's probably one of the top students as far as getting interviews. He's gotten, this might be a little bit outdated too. Where were we at here? He's gotten like basically one interview a week, which is kind of crazy to think about, right? Because a lot of people struggle to get like 2 interviews, 1 interview, but he's like, so like he's developing options for himself. He's defining like, hey, like I'm going to just choose what I want to do here. I'm going to really just make this happen. And I love that about him. I love when a client comes to me or a student comes to me and we're like, hey, I'm gonna do everything you say down to a T. I'm gonna report back. I'm gonna over communicate because that's how we can get over results. That's how we can get extraordinary results when we over communicate. So, again, it's not GPA, it's not luck, it's not just mass applying, it's constant deposits into these relationship bank accounts that we're gonna be able to harvest later or be able to help people later. You have a responsibility to network intentionally. I'm gonna make sure that that's clear. You have a responsibility to network intentionally. That means remembering every conversation you have. That means going up to people, me here with you right now. Maybe I'm changing one person's life, right? You need to treat it that same way whenever you talk to anyone. Maybe they're going through a bad day. Maybe you're meant to be there in that moment to cheer them up, to just change their whole life, right? If you approach these networking situations just like that, you start becoming a lot more intentional with things. That's how everything changes for you. That's how opportunities start coming your way because you're able to seize them a lot more from just being more active and aware that you're able to actually control all of these little things. So make sure that you guys are doing that. I can't emphasize that enough. The shift. So now let's start talking about the shift here. Stop asking, how do I get a job? Start asking, how do I become undeniable? We talked about this a little bit, right? How do I become undeniable? What does undeniable look like? I mean, start thinking about yourself. If you're watching this, take some notes and start asking yourself, well, what does an undeniable intern look like? What does an undeniable student look like? Do I know anybody that's just gotten lucky? Do I know anybody that's actually like made themselves undeniable? Okay, what do they do? What can I do? Who do I need to be around? Who do I need to invest in? Who do I need to, kind of get closer to? Who do I need to start spending more time with? How do I get access to this knowledge? How do I compress timeframes? How do I become undeniable? You need to start asking yourself this. Okay. So that's the shift. That's the shift I need you guys to make. And again, to kind of go over a little bit more mistakes. Maybe you're obsessed about just make sure your resume is perfect. Maybe that's all that you focus on. And you're like, okay, I need to make sure this is perfect. Then you start spending months on it. And it's like, no, like just get it out, review it once a quarter, maybe. And then, that's it. Don't stress about it. Don't wait to apply. Just start pop, right? And then mass applying too. Maybe you're only mass applying. Maybe you have no strategy, no mentorship, no coaching, right? Or maybe you do some of this stuff, right? And you're just hoping and praying that works, right? And that's cool. But, I'm here for a reason to show you guys that you need to do more and you can do. So this is your action plan, okay? Fix positioning, start outreach, build relationships, and track progress, okay? So make sure, kind of going back to what I originally said at the beginning of this, is where are you at in your journey right now? Okay. Do you have it? Are you a student looking for an internship? Do you have an internship? Are you in your career? So where are we at right now? Where do we want to get to, right? Because if you're a student, you're looking to get an internship. If you're an intern, you're looking to excel and get a return offer or get a new flexible work schedule or whatever the case is, or maybe graduate sooner so you can become an engineer or work on something else, right? Or you need to be thinking about that stuff maybe, right? Or if you're an engineer, maybe you're looking to get a promotion or go somewhere else or do something, right? So we need to start thinking about this tactically, okay? With that said, fix positioning. Where's our positioning in each of these? Can we improve the positioning in each of these? As a student, we talked about that heavy. As an intern, right? What's your positioning as an intern? Are you just an average intern? Do you kind of show up? Do you kind of do work? Or do you excel, dominate, and show them what an intern really is? Okay, positioning there. As an engineer as well, do you just show up? Are you your average engineer or are you excelling? And that doesn't just mean, putting more hours in. Are you being efficient? Are you learning how to really dominate your time? Something I like to talk about and do all the time is if I have a 40-hour work week, I like compressing it into 20 hours. Okay. Because if I can do that or figure out how to get 40 hours worth of work done in 20 hours, the sky's the limit. It's incredible. So I recommend you guys start modeling and adopting that framework as well. So that's where you can start positioning, outreach. I'm going to cover this in all areas. Okay. So outreach as a student, we've already talked about LinkedIn, going to your school resources, all these events, all these resources. People are part of Form One. That's what we do. I mean, we do direct connects, and it's really cool as a network because we're all super intentional about everything. So everybody in here just already knows the deal. There's no guessing like, okay, are you a good person? Are you tactical? It's just like it's automatically to kind of just go over the core values that we have, right? Those are our core values, and I mean we have them listed on the website too. I mean, it's super cool. But building relationships, right? That's going to be next up as well. So outreach and then building relationships. As a student, we know where we're at as far as looking to get an internship. Intern, you need to do all the stuff inside your internship as well. Everything I've gone over today is not just limited to a student looking for an internship, it's also for you in an internship. Relationship bank account, networking, building these relationships, doing outreach, all of these things. You need to reach out to everybody in the company. Everybody at the company needs to know you, and they need to know you as being, you know, the light of just the light of the place, or just a, you know, a difference maker, whatever that looks like for you. You need to be that person. If you're not, someone else is, or they need that person to be there for the organization just to take a complete turn. So recommend you do that, build relationships, track progress. So super cool stuff, guys. Make sure that you do all of this, and tracking progress is critical too. Not a lot of people do that. Some people just get through the week and then you look at progress yearly with your manager maybe, and that's it. Not enough. Not enough. You need to track progress weekly, if not monthly, if not bi-weekly, right? I mean, I wouldn't push it any less than that, because if you start looking at it quarterly, then again, you're only getting better 4 times a year. Not going to cut it. Not going to cut it. But it is if you want to be average. So like it's cool if you want to do that. Now, do you want to do this alone? That's the biggest thing too, right? Because the standard is looking at this stuff quarterly or yearly, right? Or every 6 months, or like that's just the standard. That's the, you know, if you have a mentor, you have a guidance counselor, you have your dean of engineering, you have your professors at like unless it's classwork, right? Obviously there's a schedule with that, but you need to treat your career as rigorous as a class schedule. As far as you have exams, you have milestones to meet all within like 3 months, however long the semesters are, right? And, you know, the biggest thing is doing this alone to kind of apply where Form One comes in. And what I wanted to do, I felt like I was doing this alone because no one was trying to take this as seriously as I was. Or if they were, they would just fall off after a month, right? Because it's like, oh, I'm too stressed. I have final exams. I'll try again next semester. I mean, I've done that, right? Like, I'm not saying that like it's not okay, but I'm saying, well, I always wanted to excel and do something different, right? So I felt like I was doing this alone. So I want to ask you, based off what I've just said, do you feel like you're doing it alone now? Or do you feel like, well, like you're okay kind of just operating by the standard, or do you want to excel, right? So now do you want to excel alone, or do you want to be around people that also excel and go above and beyond, right? Something I always like to talk about instead of work-life balance is work-life integration. Super critical, right? Because like, what are we trying to balance? Like bad and good. If it's bad, just get it out of my life, right? Integration is now like, okay, what am I doing for my career? What am I doing for my life? That's all integrated together to make a life that I truly want to live, and that I don't have to run and take a vacation from, right? So just like process that with me. So doing this alone is your journey and everything you're looking to accomplish. And just to ask yourself, going back to what I just said, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Really need to think about this, guys. I mean, it can change yearly, but we need to know what this is. You guys need to know what we're targeting here, and it can't just be to get a job, have a family, right? But those are just responsibilities. Like those aren't even goals. Like that's gonna happen. Like, that's probably gonna happen whether you like it or not, right? You need to be intentional with it. It's probably not gonna just happen by default, but those are kind of basic. If you pick up what I'm saying here, right? So what are your advanced goals? What are your Form One goals, right? What's the dream here? What do you want to have? What do you want to have happen? What is your engineering career supposed to do for your life for you? Is it supposed to retire your parents? Is it supposed to, like, what's it supposed to do? So we need to think about that. Process that with me. I'll give you like 10 seconds to just think about that. Okay. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where is it, right? And again, that can change each year, but you need to be very, very clear with it. So now I said I was going to come back to this. We were talking about kind of excelling and how to do that, what success looks like. Something I want to talk about with you guys is growth mindset versus fixed mindset. If you go around and ask 100 students, I challenge you all to do this. Challenge you all to do this in your school. Just go around to maybe your like engineering little kind of hub, wherever the building is for school, and go ask every person in there, hey, do you have a growth mindset or fixed mindset? Why? Guaranteed 99 or 90% of them say they have a growth mindset, right? But who actually does have a growth mindset, right? Because like not everybody in the world can just have a growth mindset. Otherwise, growth versus fixed wouldn't be a thing. Like you know what I'm saying here? So as far as us and what we're looking at and how intentional we are with our careers, Do you have a growth mindset or do you have a fixed mindset? I think the fixed mindset is just being average and just, applying, trying to do good in school, taking on some projects and just doing the norm, right? That's kind of fixed. That's kind of what's been fixed as the path that's set in front of you. Growth will, how do we grow past that, right? Just a new framing to start thinking about. I challenge you to apply that with everything you're doing in your life, especially when you get an internship as well. Well, what's fixed? What is an intern supposed to do? How can I be the best intern? That's growth. That's different. Sorry, guys. The program starts today. So I want to talk to you guys about this really quick. I'm going to go get something. I'm going to show you guys. It's really cool. We'll talk about it in a second. We'll go over that in a second. So that was kind of a little teaser there, but yeah, get it out of the frame there so you guys can't see it. But the program starts today. So I've talked about this in a few previous webinars. So the 30 days excelling, how to excel in your first internship or your first position. Again, anybody can make a course on this. Maybe some people have in the engineering industry. No one's done it in the formal one way. Nonetheless, what we're doing to really differentiate and be part of that growth mindset kind of version of this is, well, you're going to do it live with me. I just started a new position. I'm out in Arizona right now. A lot of my viewers at the moment are East Coast. So you guys are probably kind of up a little bit late right now. Not really, but still. So what we're going to be doing is showing you exactly the first 30 days in your position, how to excel at it and how to really dominate and set the standard, right? That's the biggest thing that I really wish I had, right? Once I got into my first internship, it's like, okay, like instead of just trying to breathe, like, okay, like let's breathe like ASAP and then start excelling and being part of that growth division of stuff. So I'm going to show you how I do it daily live with me. And I'm going to show you guys best practices as part of our course module. Super cool stuff. It starts today. It's going to be right after this live stream. So I'm going to show you guys how to be part of that. It's inside of our school community. But this is what it looks like. 30-day first position master blueprint. It's going to be insane, guys. Me and my team have spent a lot of time on it. It's going to be packed with tons of value. It's going to change your life. It's really cool. I mean, I'm excited to do it just for me, just to grow and learn. And that's kind of part of this too, guys. Like this is for me as well. And I think the best mentors are always looking to learn, grow, develop, and do all this stuff too. And if you're around coaches or mentors that kind of stop that or do it lax or maybe do it once a year or once every few years, you need to cut them out. You need to be around people that are always looking to grow, always looking to develop, always looking to change, challenge what they've done before, and always look to get to their best self, right? Strongly recommend you guys do this. Inside of our community as well with all of our clients, kind of part of this too, but it's all just like a package deal inside of our community, a part of the Form 1 community. We're going to be doing a 60-day challenge. I'm going to be going over the details. We're going to be giving some awesome, crazy prizes. This is starting tomorrow. It's going to consist of some things you're already supposed to be doing, such as applying, building your brand, a bunch of different things. I'm not going to go over every little detail right now. I'm just keeping this top level as far as we're doing a 60-day challenge of things you're supposed to already be doing, holding you accountable, displaying it in the group, us all working together, hopping on calls, talking about it, and just making sure that we're actually achieving our goals. At the end of it, whoever completes is going to get some awesome prizes. So just make sure you're looking for that. It's going to be really cool. And then we have an app as well that me and my team just built. It's really badass. It's really cool. It's going to be part of the challenge. It's also going to be part of check-ins. It's going to help keep you accountable. It's got some AI interfaces in it. It's really cool. And the first 5 that join this community, I got a special offer for you guys, are going to get a 1-hour strategy call with me, which is really cool. A lot of our clients, pay a lot of money to do that. So this is kind of just my gift to you for being part of the webinar. This is going to last until Sunday, March 29th, right? I mean, we're starting this live tonight as far as the 30-day challenge goes, but this is what the offer is for you guys. Really cool, packed. We have lots of value in this. And the Form 1 school community is something we like to call evergreen. It's really interesting because what it is, evergreen means that it's always going to be alive. And we're always going to be developing it and growing it. So the value in it is constantly going up. There's some people that join when it was $9 a month, and there's going to be people that are going to be joining once it's $100 a month, right? So to join at this time, as we build all this, you're going to have access to everything. This course I'm talking about forever. You're going to have access to our, weekly calls, all of our previous recordings, everything we're talking about. The first 5 people that join also get that 1-hour strategy call. So, I mean, this is going to be insane. And, for those that are watching that are part of this, I definitely recommend you come on in. So I'm going to throw in a link to the chat here. If you guys have questions, I'm going to let you guys kind of ask that now. I'm going to recap a little bit what this looks like because there's going to be some other viewers that are looking to join this afterward as well. You can join afterwards, but some of that time sensitive stuff is not going to be available. But again, the school community and everything we do is completely different than any organization you have ever been a part of. because everything we've just talked about. We have a different mindset and a way of operating. It's kind of like a different way of doing engineering. SpaceX, to kind of compare it to some different industries and some different ways of thinking. So they build a lot of their stuff in-house instead of outsourcing to suppliers, where a lot of other major companies typically outsource to suppliers and make stuff happen. SpaceX does things a lot differently, right? And maybe that's why they've had a lot of traction. Formula One, we do things a lot differently. So I recommend you guys think about that, sleep on that. And again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. But this is what we have for you guys. It's going to be really cool. Can't wait to have everybody in here. And, you guys are going to do it live with me too, to ask me questions about it as well. You guys are going to be able to reference this forever. And that's it, guys. That's all I have for you today. A little bit of a short one, but I know you guys probably got a lot of value out of it. Make sure you take one thing and apply it. And other than that, guys, I want you guys to go form a win. I'll see you inside. We're going to go live in an hour after this here, as far as for the first session here for this 30-day mastery blueprint. So let's get into it. I'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.